Hello, my friends. It is time for the Witchy Weather Report. How are we feeling? I hope we're feeling wonderful. As you might know, last week I started a habit of adding some nifty background music to the Witchy Weather Report, and I think I'm going to do that again this week. How are we feeling? Hello, B! Whimsical Solace! Do you say solace or solace? I think solace is the correct way to pronounce it, but I'm one of those people who reads books. A lot of people read books. I'm one of these people who I read a lot of books as a kid, so often the first time I experienced a word, it was written rather than spoken. So I have some pronunciations that come out of that. And one of them is that I tend to say solace rather than solace. I don't know if it's a valid pronunciation. Y'all can tell me. Anyway, everyone, please go follow whimsical.solace. You say solace too? Okay, it's not just me. I've heard people say solace, which I understand. It's like, is it a long O or I guess a short O? I don't know, but yeah. All right, let's see. I'm live. I don't see anyone tuned in on the Facebook or anything yet. I'm going to get some nifty, hey Ondine, how you doing? I'm going to get some nifty background music going for y'all, because you deserve nifty things. That's what I have to say to you. Let's see. I want to make sure this is audible to the Insta friends. All right. I might be a little quiet. We'll see. I want to get it so that y'all can hear, but we're not getting weird feedback, which is right about there. That seems to be where to put it. Okay. Here we go with some nifty music. Hello, human who is tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. My name is Rory with Sassafras Tarot, and I am here to share witchy wisdom with you every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. UK time, which I recognize is not in the morning for y'all UK people, but close enough. I want one more nifty thing. We're gonna see if it ruins it. This is what I'm going to start doing now. I'm going to start some vibey music at the beginning of every broadcast. because I feel like you deserve vibey music. Y'all can tell me how it's sounding to you. If you feel like it could go up a little, down a little, let me know. I want you to be able to hear me, but I also want you to be able to enjoy the vibes with me. All right, I see that I think our Facebook or YouTube friends are starting to trickle in. I'm going to share this on Facebook because I have noticed even when you enable notifications on Facebook, sometimes those notifications are slow. Anyway, let's get this witchy weather report started. Today, I am reading to you from The Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake, illustrated by Elizabeth Alba. It is, as you may have heard me say, my security blanket tarot. It is the tarot deck I go to when I just want to feel comfy and cozy and friendly. And that is how I feel this morning. So here we are. Hey Grayson, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, and hi for as long as you're here. If you want, I will pull your card first, right after everybody else's card, Grayson, so that you can maybe still be here for it. If you would like me to pull a card for you, here's how to accomplish that. Drop a cat emoji in the chat. We do this because when people literally write, like, please pull a card for me, we get spammers sometimes. Spammers are awful. Nobody wants spammers. So instead, we drop a delightful cat emoji in the chat, or we write the word meow, and that is the secret code to let me know to pull a card for you. So meow at me, my darlings. Okay, let me give this a quick share so that folks know on the Facebooks that I am live, because I know the Facebook is slow to share. Hey Judith, hey Anna. And let me do a little bit of shuffling for our main card of the day. We just had a new moon in Leo yesterday. Did anyone do anything nifty for the new moon? I didn't exactly not. I did a little bit of meditation. It wasn't totally new moon centered. I just needed like some quiet time with myself. And I actually think that might be my new favorite way to approach a new moon, which is I used to feel that on a new moon, I had to like do a ritual, do like a, what do I want to bring into the cycle ritual, a manifesting ritual or a spell to bring what I wanted. And it started to feel like a lot of pressure. There are a lot of things in my life that I want, but it felt like a lot of pressure to like name the thing that I wanted to create in my life over the next 28 days. And I think I'm realizing that what I need the most on a new moon is just to be allowed to not be creating, not be drawing, not be bringing something new into my life, just exist on the dark moon and let myself feel, kind of boundless, kind of feel like I'm not pushing. So I think that might be my new favorite way to spend a new moon. Y'all tell me. And then maybe, if I do want to create something, manifest something, do a spell, maybe in, the 3 days following the new moon is when I'll do that. Anyway, new moon in Leo. It's a good time to set intentions and goals. It's a good time to enjoy this dark moon and be kind to yourself. It is a good time, especially because the new moon is in Leo, to think about goals around visibility, goals around celebrating yourself and living fiercely. What does it mean to you to live fiercely? That is my question for you today. What else was I going to say about the new moon? Maybe that's it. If you do have a goal, if you do have something you want to bring into, bring into the next 28 days, please share it in the comments. I want to hear about it. And or if you want to answer my question, what does it mean to you to live fiercely? What does it mean to celebrate yourself? I will accept answers to any of those questions. I'm really, really curious what that looks like for you, because I am definitely committing to explore it in this cycle. Living fiercely and celebrating myself. By gosh. I see a couple people in the chat. OB says, I love that deck. Thank you. I love this deck too. If you didn't tune in before, I am reading today with the Everyday Witch Tarot. Ooh, B says, I like to make art or paint my nails. I love that. Ondine says, the best imaginable visibility for my music. May it be so. Throwing my spiritual energy behind that goal. I would love if we can do that, by the way. If someone names a goal here, let's all throw a little bit of energy behind it. Let's just, I don't know, put some light around it, send some vibes, whatever it means to you. Anna says, I don't need any more pressure on my life and my head. Big mood. Sending some vibes to that goal as well. Reduced pressure. Let me tell you about our card for the week, everyone. By the way, how are we feeling about the ratio of vocal, me talking, to our background music? Because I can adjust it if you like. I've decided to start doing the Witchy Weather Report with vibey, live looped background music. Because why not? Because I can. And I love doing that, so why not bring it here? Here's our card for the week. After that, I'll be pulling Grayson's card. I'm moving Grayson to the front of the list because they are only here for a few minutes and they are a regular. All right. Four of Pentacles. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this young man kind of sitting nervously on a chest, kind of a treasure chest, if you will, in like a dungeon, in perhaps a, turn the music down a little, please. Thank you, I will. How's that hitting you? A little better? I can also raise the volume on me. A little more me in the mix. All right. Tell me if that made it a little better. Let me know in the comments. So, here's our Four of Pentacles. Here is our card. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Here's our card for the week. Four of Pentacles. We've got this young man sitting in like a safe, of some kind, or a locked dungeon room on top of a chest, looking pretty nervous. This is about guarding your resources. And I'm going to choose to interpret this as an advice card. What does it mean to you to guard your resources, to steward your resources? My favorite word when it comes to resources, to steward your resources well this week. Are there areas where maybe you're holding on a little too tightly and you could actually serve yourself and others by loosening your grasp a little bit? Maybe like excessive frugality or excessive nervousness around scheduling or planning. Or are there areas where maybe you need a little bit of frugality, right? Maybe you need to be more careful. And when I say frugality, I think money comes up for a lot of people, but I want to remind us that when I talk about resource, I'm talking about money, I am talking about time, I am talking about energy, I am talking about health, right? I'm talking about all the things that keep us going at the most basic level. So when I say frugality, it could mean money, right? It could mean our spending. It could also mean being mindful of how we spend our time, choosing to stick to a schedule so that we don't get like lost, doom scrolling, or choosing to be mindful about who we give our time away to. And similarly with our energy, right? How much energy do you have throughout the day? We have such a workaholic culture, and I think that we have been conditioned to believe that doing our best means depleting ourselves. Means giving everything we've got until we are depleted, and then we're allowed to stop for a brief rest. And I'm here to tell you that's not doing your best, that's overdoing it. I'm here to tell you as a recovering workaholic, maybe still a workaholic, I'm doing my best over here. Doing your best does not equal depleting yourself. Doing your best means stewarding your energy wisely and lovingly and compassionately. So that's what I want to encourage you to do this week. Maybe that is the way you can love yourself fiercely this week, which is what big Leo energy is all about, to steward your energy, your resources, your time, your money in a way that is kind to you. All right, I'm going to pull a card for Grayson. After that, I am going to pull cards for other people. B, put a cat in the chat. Ondine, put a cat in the chat. After that, we have Anna and Judith. And if you would like me to draw a card for you, just let me know. I pull as many cards as I can until 12 noon my time. It's 11:16 a.m. right now, so I'm here for an hour every Saturday. So I'll get to you as early as, I'll get to as many people as I can in that time, put it that way. Some days we get to everyone and end early. Some days I can't get to everyone. So that's how it is on the Witchy Weather Report. So if you would like me to pull a card, the secret code is drop a cat emoji in the chat or write the word meow in the chat. If you already did, don't worry, I got you. Hey Savannah, so good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. All right, Grayson, here is your card. Your card for this week, Grayson, is the Six of Cups. Let's talk about familial generosity, and I mean both generosity between family members, and I mean generosity that feels familial, the kind of generosity along the lines of an older sibling teaching their younger sibling how to do something, along the lines of a parent lovingly getting a child out of a jam, like helping them out, having their back, the kind of generosity of like feeling like you are not alone, like you have someone else looking out for you. And I say familial generosity. I know not everyone has had that experience in their family life, but I want to keep that as an ideal. Like, let's aspire to this type of familial generosity where we show up for each other in a real practical way, right? And sometimes familial generosity is very practical and not like polite, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, here, take a coat, you always forget your stupid sweater, but you're actually looking out for that person and making sure they stay warm. What does it mean to you to embody familial generosity this week? What would that look like to you to give and receive? And I really want to share that it's both, that it's a two-way street, that you deserve to feel that you are being looked out for, that you deserve to feel that someone cares about you and just wants to make you smile occasionally, and that someone is, looking out for your needs. And also ask yourself how you can be that person for the people you really care about. That is your quest this week. All right, I see a couple meows in the chat. I got some new comments. Hey Ruby, how you doing? Anna says, I have that problem, always nervous about expending anything beyond bounds, not enough spoons on most days. I can really, really relate. And sometimes the reality is, with our energy or our time or our money, sometimes the reality is that there is a scarcity problem. And I want us not to, I know there's a lot of talk about not living in a scarcity mindset. And I'm here for that, because I think when we believe, there's not enough, it really affects our actions in a negative way. But I also think it's appropriate sometimes to be careful with your resources, right? Sometimes you are very busy and you do have to be mindful of how much time you give. Sometimes your health does need a lot of love and attention, and you have to carefully steward your energy. Sometimes money is tight and you have to carefully steward your money. So I want us to feel free to make those judgment calls, not to feel like we constantly have to be in an attitude of abundance, because sometimes we are so abundant, we are so caught in the idea of like, I have to be abundant, I can do it, I can do all the things, that we deplete ourselves trying to do every single thing. That's crazy. You don't need that. Oh, thank you so much. Savannah says your Daisy shirt is so cute. Thank you so much. I've had this shirt since I was in high school. Maybe. I'm not sure, but I've had it for a long time. And I just felt like wearing daisies today. Ruby says, I'm good. How are you, beautiful? First of all, thank you. Secondly, I'm well. I'm good. I'm going into a weekend full of gigs. If you're on Long Island, I'll be performing today at Long Island Spirits out in Riverhead, and at the Great Neck Farmers Market tomorrow. And if you're not, don't worry, because I will also be live streaming on the internet tonight from the Maddie Rocks page on Facebook. Don't worry, you will see a post about it on my Facebook page at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm all the places. So I'm good. It's a busy weekend. Savannah says, energy is currency. Oh, yes. Yeah, I use that if it's helpful for you. I think sometimes it can feel like a lot if we're like, money is just energy is money. Because then if we have problems with energy in terms of our internal energy, or with money, then we're like, I'm doing it wrong. And I don't want us to ever feel like, I'm doing it wrong. I want us to use these ideas if they're helpful to us. Hannah says, I want to be on Long Island, period. Well, here it is. I don't know how I feel about it at this moment. We've got a lot of places have the Delta variant creeping up, and it's definitely creeping up in my area. Like, we're bright red on that map, and I'm concerned about it. So I have feelings. I have mixed feelings. But I am very glad to be outperforming, and of course I will be doing so in a really careful way. I am back to masking up at this time, because though I am vaccinated, I have read that vaccinated people can still be a vector for Delta. We can pass it. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to, be the reason that it spreads. So I am being very careful. Thank you, everyone. Savannah's saying, have a great gig weekend. Yeah, I love playing farmers markets. I'm very excited to be playing. Hey, Melissa, how you doing? All right, I better start reading people's cards. So I'm going to pull a card for B and Ondine first. Then we're going to jump over to Judith and Anna. And then I know a couple more people have come in and put meows on there. Don't worry, I got you. All right. B, here is your card for the day. Your card is the Tower. My dear, I know, I know you just did a rebrand. You're doing Whimsical Solace now, which I really like, by the way. By the way, if y'all follow B, which I've probably nagged you to do before on Instagram, it used to be Whimsical Weekend. Now it's whimsical.solace. Solace is how you spell solace. Really awesome stuff. Creativity, everyday creativity, keeping that energy flowing day to day. I really recommend that you follow her on the Instagrams and her blog. Anyway, B, the Tower is your card of the moment. And when I pull cards for the week, I am generally pulling advice cards. I am inviting you to ask yourself how you can embody the Tower at this time, to ask yourself what in your life that maybe used to support you, systems and circumstances that used to support you, and now feel either restrictive or that they are doing the opposite of supporting you, that they are not helping, that they are rubbing against you in an uncomfortable way. It is time to dismantle some of those systems. It is time to identify what it is time to say goodbye to. And I want to give you epic permission to do so in a way that is messy. I think sometimes in life, we know that we have to get away from a certain situation or change something in our lives or walk away from something. And we don't, because we don't know how to do it, quote unquote, right. We don't know how to do it, I don't know how else to say it, in the correct way, in the polite way. We don't know how to do it and come off nice, And I want to tell you, sometimes there's no right way to do it, especially if we're talking about toxic situations. Sometimes when we're dealing with toxic people, they deliberately cut off the polite and okay ways of doing things so that we have to be aggressive if we want to extricate ourselves. And you know what? Then it's appropriate to be aggressive. Then it's appropriate to stand up for ourselves in that way. So I want to give you permission, B, and I'm not saying you have toxic people all around you. I'm not that person. I don't know your, intimate details of your day-to-day life, but I am saying whatever you need to walk away from, whatever you need to step back from in your life, I give you permission to do so in a messy way. I give you permission to be like, you know what, I just can't do this right now, and, cancel something at the last minute, or have an unpleasant conversation in a way you didn't plan out, and blurt things out in ways that don't feel like the way you would usually phrase them, because sometimes growth is messy, and we have to allow ourselves room to be messy in order to grow. Permission from the universe. Go ahead and be messy. B says, this might be the most excited I am to see the Tower card. I'm so glad. I'm glad to hear you're excited. Whoa! I went to scroll and my phone stand fell right over. Sorry about that, friends. All right. These are things that happen sometimes. All right. Where are you, Insta? Are we back? Here we go. Okay, thank you. Ooh, let me know if you can still see me, Insta friends. I'm trying to, oh my gosh. It's a day. I wanted to scroll up and see the comments, and instead I just knocked y'all to the ground. Tower makes so much sense, B says. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Oh, Savannah says, love the rebrand. Solace is such a good word. I think that too. Savannah also says she looks happy in that card too, maybe a little mischievous. Yes, I really agree. I love the Tower in this deck. Okay, you see me. Good. All is well. Okay, Ondine, I am pulling a card for you at this time. After that, I've got, I don't know who's first. I think Anna. Anna, then Judith, and then I'll scroll through. I know there's more folks. Don't worry. I gotcha. As always, I will be reading cards until 12 noon my time. It's now about 11:27 a.m. I'm very particular. I can't do about. I'm a Virgo. I need to be specific. So I'll get to as many people as I can get to in that time. Aw, thank you, Ruby. Ruby says, your laugh is infectious. I love it. Thank you. I hope so. Because I can't help it sometimes. All right. Ondine, this is for you, Page of Wands. I want to talk to you because this is also a little bit of a card about walking away, and it's a card about, stay with me here, walking away to be bigger. Think about this as the going away to school card, as the leaving home for the first time card, as the setting your sights on richer shores card. You know, the like, I'm going to go out to make my fortune card. Page of Wands invites you to take what you have that you need, you know, like don't be so frugal that you harm yourself, but that you will be willing to just explore and surrender yourself to your new idea and your new path and see what you can make of things. There's a lot of Leo energy in this. Page of Wands is a fire sign, and this really is about showing up for yourself with fierceness and with confidence. And I really recommend, if you don't feel that confidence around the passionate things you want to do and you know what those things are, faking it till you're making it is a super valid option. You know, act like you have the confidence. And often what happens when we do that, act as if I feel comfortable enough to share this thing on the internet that I'm sharing, right? Act as if I feel comfortable enough to put myself out there. Act as if I feel comfortable enough to use my voice and say what I really want to say, even though I am not sure of the reception I will receive. Often what happens is we receive the feedback we need, and the next time we don't have to act as if, right? We learn, oh, I'm good for this. And it goes both ways, because sometimes things go really well and we're like, see, that was fine. And sometimes things don't go well and we learn that we're good for it, right? We learn that even so, we're glad we did it and we grew from the experience and we're willing to do it again. So that is your quest this week. Your quest is to be the quest. Your quest is to honor this Page of Wands energy. Explore the things that are exciting to you, that are pulling at you. Go on the new journey. Believe in yourself because you are good for it. All right. Anna and Judith, you are the next people I will be reading for. Then I'm going to see what other humans there are to read for. I know a few people have dropped cats in the chat. If you are new to the Witchy Weather Report, what I need to tell you is if you want me to pull a card for you, there's a secret code. And the secret code is dropping a cat emoji in the chat. Or if for some reason you can't get to the emojis, just write the word meow. Meow is also good. It's always great for you to meow at me. It's almost like your cat calling me, but in a way I'm asking for, so it's okay. All right, Anna, here is your card. It's the King of Pentacles, and I don't think this is the first time you've gotten this card lately. Obviously, this is like big energy for you at this time. And it's funny because when we talked about the Four of Pentacles and frugality, that was something that came up for you. The King of Pentacles is here urging you to be a kingly steward of your resources, of your energy. Now, the King of Pentacles in here, in this card, has vines creeping along his leg. He's deeply rooted and grounded. Someone who knows what home and family is, knows what he values, knows what's important to him, and feels confident in those things, and is inextricably mixed up in them, right? Like, there is no extricating yourself at this point. When you're the King of Pentacles, you have built your empire of pentacles and you're involved. This is a king who's hands-on, who's deeply engaged in the lives of his people, of his humans. Also, the king has companions. We've got like this cute little, we've got this like bull friend over here and this cute little doggy friend over here. The king has friends and companions to lean on when things get challenging. The king doesn't have to go it alone. And if he feels like it, it's usually a matter of not communicating that he has needs. It's usually a matter of not reminding himself, oh, I can ask for help. It's okay. The king is also holding a chocolate cake in his hand, reminding us that it is important to celebrate what we have, and sometimes celebration means sinking into pleasure, sinking into experience, truly, truly enjoying and celebrating all that we have created. That may feel dangerous. It may feel like, oh, I can't get used to this, right? That feeling like, oh, I don't want to turn into a lazy person. Oh, I don't want to be narcissistic. I don't want to be self-involved. But you know what? You have to give yourself permission to enjoy your life. That's why you have a life, to enjoy it. So if you feel that you have been overly frugal, now might be a good time to ask yourself, are there things that I have already that I've worked hard for that I can just fully enjoy and sink into? Are there ways I can ask for help from those around me? Are there ways I can lean on people around me because I would allow them to lean on me? These are your questions for this week. You are welcome. Hey, Hannah, so good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Savannah says he looks like a Taurus. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of big Taurus energy, you already know this if you're on Long Island because it's made headlines here. If you're not local, I don't know if you've seen the news, but a couple weeks ago there was a bull that got loose from it's hard to say. I think it was a halal slaughterhouse here on Long Island. So this bull was scheduled to be slaughtered and got loose and like has been running amok around around southeastern Long Island. Like they closed Sunrise Highway, which if you've ever driven on Long Island, you know that's a big road. And they haven't caught the bull as far as I know. Maybe they've caught it now and it didn't make headlines, but like last I heard, the bull was just like running free, doing his thing, and they were trying to lure him back with cows, with girl cows. And everyone I know is just rooting for the bull. You know, like talk about big Taurus energy. It's just like, whatever, I'm going joyriding. So I just wanted to share that because you mentioned we had the bull in this card and you mentioned Taurus energy. Anyway, yeah, he's free. I kind of love it. I kind of want him to be just like the Long Island bull, and he just like, I want him to be local legend, you know, and every so often, like 20 years from now, I want there to be like an urban legend that if the Long Island bull crosses your path, that he'll like bring prosperity and a little bit of chaos into your life. You know, like something like that. I love it. Yes, Judith, that was from seeing your comment. Speaking of Judith, it is time to read your card today. All right, let me pull up a card for you. Judith, here's your card. It is the Four of Wands. This too is a card of celebration, and specifically celebration and reunion. This is a card for getting together with humans that you love, often women you love. This is often like a women celebrating card, a girls' night card, but you know how I feel about gender in the tarot. It's optional, which is how I feel about gender in life. You know, this is a card about getting together with those who know you and celebrating the heck out of what you have accomplished. It's a milestone card. It is a card for looking around, noticing what you have accomplished, and like throwing your hands in the air, like doing the confetti thing, whatever it is that celebration means to you, with the people who understand most what it means to you that you've accomplished this. And so if you're looking around and going like, I don't know, what have I accomplished? Now's actually a good time to make a list. Now's a good time to make a list of your accomplishments, to do some inventory, look back at the past, you know, half a year or so that we've been through in 2021 and be like, well, where am I at so far? What have I done so far? And take a day to just celebrate that, to celebrate yourself. Big Leo energy, it's time to celebrate yourself. Do the thing. Witches and cats. I love this deck. Yes. Yeah, there are cats pretty much everywhere in this deck. This is the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake and illustrated by Elizabeth Alba, by the way. I love this deck. It is my favorite go-to homey safe deck. All right, so if you've joined lately, if you'd like me to pull a card for you, there's a secret code. The secret code is drop a cat emoji in the chat and I will pull a card for you. Or write the word meow in the chat and I will pull a card for you. So I know I have a couple people tuned in who have dropped cats. Let me see who needs a card. Okay, Ruby's gonna be next, then Melissa. After that, I have Savannah and Hannah. Savannah and Hannah. Oh, you rhyme. I'm going to just assume you both want cards. Please tell me if either of you does not want a card, because I'm afraid to scroll on Instagram again. And if I missed anyone, drop that cat right now. Let me know. All right, Ruby, I'm pulling a card for you at this time. By the way, if you enjoy what you have been, if you've been enjoying this experience on the Witchy Weather Report, feel free to throw some love in the virtual tip jar. You should see it scrolling across the bottom. And I think it's in the title on Instagram, which I'll be real honest, I have no idea how you would get to the title. But it's Venmo at Rory Kelly, RORIE KELLY. That's the virtual tip jar, or paypal.me/Rory Kelly. Same name, RORIE KELLY. I offer these readings freely every week because I want to bring light into your life and insight and give you perspective and make you feel like you can go into the week empowered. And some people have been generous, and I'm very, very thankful. All right, Ruby, time for me to pull your card for you. Oh, girl. Ruby, you got the Tower, too. Judith says, something was wrong with my Facebook comment thingy, but it's working for now. Four of Wands is perfect. Yes! Ruby, you also have the Tower. I want to remind you that the Tower, this is a burning down tower in this card. The Tower is an inside job, and it is a joyful inside job. The Tower, in this context, is about dismantling and removing yourself from situations that are not working for you. Definitely a time to stand up for yourself and use your voice. You are free to do so messily. I want you not to worry so much. If you're like, I feel like I'm caught between a rock and a hard place because there's no right way to do this, I invite you to just throw up your hands and do it the best way you can, even if it's not the right way. You know, be messy. Go ahead. I bet the people around you are feeling free to be messy with you. And it's okay to be human sometimes. You don't have to do everything perfectly. If you wait until you know you're going to do it perfectly, you might not ever do it. So I encourage you to just look around. You know what needs to be done already, because when the Tower comes up as an advice card, it's like, you know what needs to change in your life. And it's time to take the bull by the horns. Perhaps literally, because we both live on Long Island. It's time to take the bull by the horns and just do what you can to create that change. You know, don't worry about if you're doing it exactly right. Don't worry about if you're saying the magic perfect thing. There is no magic perfect thing that will offend no one. You will always offend someone if you are living in your truth, and that's just the way it is. And sometimes it's better to offend them, and then they get out of your life and you don't have to worry anymore. And I'm not saying to be a jerk, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, live your truth, be yourself. I promise you it's worth doing. Savannah says, the Tower always shows up for me when I need to revisit structures. And B says, the right way is sometimes subjective. Yes, big energy. I'm scrolling nervously. Oh my gosh, Hannah says, man, I've pulled the Tower 3 times this week. Wow. I wonder if the Tower is going to be like... We've had a couple cards this year that have followed us all around collectively. Most recently, I'm thinking of The World was following us around for a while. And I wonder if now it's the Tower. Like, now it's time to, dismantle stuff that is not working anymore. That's our next chapter. Really interesting. Okay. Who's next? I've forgotten already. Melissa Marie! I am going to pull a card for you. And then Savannah, and then Hannah. All patrons, by the way. Thank you, patrons. I want to take a hot minute, and this is a great time to do it, I think. I want to just take a hot minute to thank my patrons here at Sassafras Tarot. What do I mean when I say patrons? Well, I have a community on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. You can find the link in my bio if you're on Instagram. It's scrolling across the bottom everywhere else. Supporting me as I do this work, as I do tarot readings and bring podcasts to you and bring these live streams to you, and just bring witchy insights into your life. And different levels of support get you cool perks. My patrons all get a backstage pass to my podcasts. Some of y'all get individual card pulls each month. Some of you get bonus episodes each month in addition to the podcast. So If you want to get in on that content, if you're watching this and you're like, that sounds nifty, patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. Here are the patrons I want to shout out right now. Russ Green, Amanda Little, Patty Bell from soulshepherd.love, Melissa Marie, Rachel Miller, Anti-Fragile Tarot, who, by the way, is going to be my guest on Sassafras Cast this coming week, Grayson, Savannah Tillett, B from Whimsical Solace, I need to update that for myself, B from Whimsical Solace, Millie Orozco, Ruby Marchetti, Brittany, and Hannah Westlock. Thank you! I love you. I'm so grateful that you're in my world, and I'm so grateful to see y'all tuning in. Several of you are tuning in for the Witchy Weather Report, and I'm really grateful, because I love getting to connect with you day to day in the Discord, and also like this. I want to say face to face, but it's really just my face. Face to cat emoji. Oh, you guys are just the best. But in Instagram, 2 people just said, I love being a patron. Thank you. I love having you as a patron. It's really true. Both of you, just like the energy you bring to the community. It means so much. So thank you. All right. Yes. Ruby says, thank you. Your vibes are awesome today. Thank you. And says, thank you, ladies, for your thoughts. And Anna says, assertive feminine energy at the fore. I love it. Yes. Big mood. Okay, Melissa, I'm pulling a card for you, but I'm going to leave you in suspense for a hot minute because it is time for me to take a drink of water. Otherwise, Rory's going to start getting a little gravelly. Hydration checkpoint. Make sure you're staying hydrated, kids. It's warm out there. At least it is where I am. How's the weather by you? Okay. 3 of Wands, Melissa. It is time to move forward. 3 of Wands is often a travel card, and I know you've actually been doing a fair amount of travel lately. 3 of Wands means it is time to go forth into the light. Go into the light. That sounds ominous. I don't mean like in Poltergeist. I mean to feel free to light up the world in the way you feel inspired to light up the world. It's very much a putting yourself out there card, very much a journeying card. It means that if you're like, do I have the resources to go forward with this? The answer is yes, you actually have plenty of resources, and you are being called to create something important in the world right now. So you following your dream may feel to you, you may perceive it as like, oh, is this self-involved? Do I have time for this? Is this something I should be really doing? But in fact, you are an instrument right now. You are an instrument through which growth can come, not just for you, but for anyone who is involved, who is touched by what you do. So you are being urged to go forth and do the thing. And I know you know what the thing is. And I know, knowing you, Melissa, that the thing is probably more like 17 things. And I know they'll all be beautiful and interwoven and it'll be special. Do the thing. All right. Got 2 more cards for y'all today. If anyone else, I got Savannah and Hannah on deck. Which is nifty because it's just, you're all rhymey, and that just makes me happy. Got Savannah and Hannah on deck. If there's anyone else who would like a card, drop a cat emoji, meow now, or forever hold your peace. Something a cat would never do, hold their peace. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoy the Witchy Weather Report, I hope you will follow me wherever you're watching this. Hit the subscribe button or the follow button. The notifications, just press all the buttons. Turn on notifications, etc. And I hope you'll look for Sassafras Cast, which comes out once a month. It's my monthly witchy podcast. You can find it in video form on YouTube if you search Sassafras Tarot. And you can find it by searching Sassafras Cast everywhere that fine podcasts are offered. Savannah, this card is for you. 8 of Swords. This card is one of my favorite cards now because I worked for it for over a year, and I often talk about that. 8 of Swords. I want to ask you how you are keeping yourself imprisoned. I'm sorry, that's like a very direct in your face question, and I'm sorry, but that's what I want to ask you. I want to ask you if you are feeling stuck. 2 questions. Is it possible that your perception that you are stuck may come from something internal rather than something external, right? Is it possible that you may feel stuck because in the past a situation like this had you stuck? But now perhaps you have the resources and the possibilities to get out. Also, the other thing I want to ask you, there's a bird on this card. There are always birds on this card. No matter what deck you see it in, you get birds. Birds are messengers. And specifically, they are messengers of help in this card. The bird is indicating that you're not just not stuck, you're not alone. You have help if you want. And this might look like covert help. You may feel like the world is against you right now. But there is at least one person in your corner who wants to help you, and it might just be them helping you by listening to you and maybe reflecting back to you like, hey, I think you might be self-sabotaging here, or hey, it's not actually like that. I understand why you see it that way, but you actually have more wiggle room than you think, more power than you think, more possibilities than you think. It might just be that there is someone available to be a loving mirror to you. And if so, take advantage of that. You deserve it. You deserve that help. It might also be that there is literally someone knocking at your door saying, hey, I have an idea that you might not have thought of. Let's do this together. Let people help you and let yourself help you. Believe that there is a way. Rest assured that there is a way out of the situation that you are struggling with, and know that it will probably require some creativity because your brain you're being given the chance to grow. You're being given the chance to discover new power that you have, new options that you have, new routes that are available to you that in the past were not. In the past, you felt cut off from your power. In the past, you felt that you did not have very many options. Now there are options available, but because you haven't done them before, you're gonna need to try new things. And when you do, you're gonna find you have a lot more options and a lot more power at your disposal than you believe. So do the thing. Free yourself. By gosh. Hannah, this card is for you. This is going to be our last card on the Witchy Weather Report. You're welcome, Savannah. Savannah says, I need tough love. That's a loving thing to say. Well, I hope you get both tough love and just nice love, because you also deserve niceness. So there. Hannah, this card is for you. All right, King of Swords. Hannah, time to live your truth in a big way right now. It's time to lay it down, in fact. Like, it's time for some mic drop moments. It's time to spill the tea. Can I think of any other meme phrases? No, I'm not going to go down that road. Look at the King of Swords. He is pointing to a book. He is pointing with his sword and with his hand. He's like, look, the truth is right here, guys. This is the information we need to proceed. You just need to listen. It is time for you to be the King of Swords at this time, and for you to own your truth, and for you to speak it as truth. This means not necessarily kowtowing, not being like, well, I guess the way I feel is, or in a way, it seems like it means that it's time for you to be, to give your truth the respect it deserves by asserting it as truth, by saying, this is how it is. It may feel uncomfortable to be that direct, and certainly people who have been raised female in our patriarchal society have been a little bit trained not to be direct. We've been trained to kind of tiptoe around having opinions. But it's time to go ahead and honestly and earnestly proclaim your truth. It's time to say, this is how it is. This is what's going on, and this is what needs to happen, as the King of Swords would. The King of Swords knows, like, it's very clear for the King of Swords. It's rational, it's like logical, it's like, this is fact, this is what's going on right now, and we need to acknowledge it. And it's time for you to do the same thing. Honor your truth as truth. Speak up for it, speak up for yourself, and allow the chips to fall where they may. When we are the King of Swords, I'm going to do a big scary metaphor here and say, if the King of Swords right now is like the World Health Organization, or the CDC, right? Just posting facts and sharing truth, and we have all these people posting misinformation, acting like the King of Swords is like, no, you're crazy. That's not how it is, right? Sometimes the King of Swords gets pushback. It doesn't mean he's wrong. It doesn't mean he is not sharing fact. It means that the people around him aren't ready for that truth yet. However, some people will always be ready for your truth. Some people will, some people won't. And the fact that others are not ready for it, that others are not ready to appreciate something that you have spent the time understanding in great depth, doesn't mean you're wrong. It means they're not there yet, and you need to not restrict yourself to where they are. You need to live where you are. You need to allow for there to be pushback, because that's human, and know that by speaking your truth, you will also be attracting people who deeply resonate with your truth and who need you to say it. You are doing a service to many people who are also sitting on their truths, also nervous to to verbally share their truth. So please honor your truth this week. All right. Free yourself is my mantra for this week, says Savannah. I love it. All right, my friends. This brings us to a close. Thank you so much for joining me for another Witchy Weather Report. I'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel, here on all the Sassafras Tarot channels, doing readings for you starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. UK time, and other times in other places. I will also be doing a live recording of Sassafras Cast coming up. Is that this week or next week? It's going to be Friday the 13th. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's this Friday, with Anti-Fragile Tarot as my guest. So if you're a patron, you will get a front row virtual seat to that as we record the podcast on a private YouTube link. If you are not a patron, don't worry, because it's still coming at you. It'll just be a few days later. And if you want to be a patron and get in on that conversation, then awesome. Hit up patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. And check out my podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts if you haven't already. I would love to get to connect with you in that way. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, make sure to steward your resources this week lovingly. Make sure to love yourself fiercely. Farewell, farewell.